Good morning, everybody. It's Karen here. Welcome back to Lily Lulu after another long break. No reason for it other than for the last 2 weeks over Easter, I've had all my family home. My girls have been home from uni. I've had my granddaughter to stay. So, and we've had quite a few big family meals. So if any of you have been following me for a few weeks now, you'll know that I work in my kitchen, on my kitchen table. So everything had to be put away over the last 2 weeks, even my computer, which normally sits there as I'm filming, is upstairs in my bedroom. Got to bring that back down today, but I wanted to get back onto working again, crafting again, and filming for all of my lovely subscribers. My numbers have gone up again over my little break, so thank you so much. Your support means the world to me. But I think, like most people, if I haven't been crafting for a while, I lose my mojo and I don't know where to start. And over the last 2 weeks, I've had loads of ideas of what I want to do. I've not been able to watch as many YouTube channels as I usually do, but the ones I have watched, I've had lots of ideas of things I'd like to do and like to try. But then this morning I got up raring to go, and I really want to do a video and I really want to craft, but I found myself procrastinating because I know there's things that I want to put in the journal I'm about to start that are packed away in the garage. So I've got to go and have a rummage and get those out. And also I've been umming and ahhing about what exactly I want to put in this journal, which is quite usual for me actually. I start a journal with loads of ideas, and then as I'm going through I think, oh, do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? But I find that as I'm working on the journal, it tells me what it wants, and I have new ideas and I change things, and I'm sure that's the same for everybody, but let me know if you work differently. So I thought this morning, well, I know what I want for my cover, material wise, fabric wise. I know what sort of cover I want. So rather than procrastinate about pages and colours of paper and digitals and all that good stuff, I would jump on and start making my cover and record the process. I know you've seen me do this before in previous videos, but you're going to see it again if you would like to follow along and watch me. So the journal I'm making is actually for my cousin. She's got a big birthday coming up. And originally I was going to do a sort of a flower theme, and obviously it was going to involve a lot of this. So I've gone through here and I've sort of had a quick look at what I'm going to be using, and her birthday's in May, so I'm going to take the May pages out of this book and do something with those. Then I've got this book, and I forgot I had it, but when we moved, this was packed away with all my other sort of the books that I wanted to keep to use for journals. I had to get rid of most of my stash, but I kept a few books. And then the last few journals I've made, I've completely forgotten about this. And I went down and rummaged through the box for something else, and I came across this book. So I may possibly use a poem or two from here, although the pages are quite white, so I'm not sure. I mean, I know I can grubby them up a bit to make them fit with the journal. And then what I also like to do with a lot of my journals is I've got this beautiful book, and it's all the English counties. So I may pop one of these in the journal. So, you know, this is what's been going through my head over the last couple of weeks of exactly what I'm going to include. So it will be this page. So I've been gathering all these bits together, and then I was umming and ahhing about the cover and the fabric I wanted to use. And then when I was rummaging through my fabric box down in the garage, I came across this fabric, and it reminded me that my cousin has a little fairy garden in her garden. So I thought I would use this and I would incorporate some fairies and flowers together. Possibly it might end up more fairies than flowers. I don't know. We'll see how we go along. But that's going to be my cover fabric. So as I've got that sorted and I've decided on that, I thought I would get on with the cover. And then, as I say, as I start working, I know that I'm going to get into the flow and, you know, I will stop procrastinating and start getting on. Just going to have a sip of tea. I got up very early this morning so that I could get my washing machine on and finished before I started recording. And my tea's going cold there because I'm rabbiting to you lot too much. So that might have to be refreshed shortly. Now this board that I'm using for the cover, I bought at Hobbycraft. The board I usually use, I don't know if I've probably said this in a previous video, the board I usually use, I usually buy from Amazon. It's slightly harder than this board. Max, be quiet. Oh, Max is getting ready to say good morning. Yeah, it's a bit harder. I can't think of the word I'm using. This is like, this grey board. It's more like a really, really stiff cardboard. And the board, Max, leave it. The board I usually use is more like wood than cardboard. But the last couple of times I've tried to get it on Amazon, they haven't had it in stock. Excuse me if I'm poking my head. I might have to stand up and do this actually. Yeah, they haven't had it in stock. So I went to Hobbycraft to find something else. And I found this grey board, which was much, much cheaper. And I've tried it on a couple of books. I can't get my knife open this morning. Oh my goodness, it's so long since I've done anything. I've forgotten how to use my tools. Oh, come on, knife, that's silly, open. Yeah, so I bought this grey board, and it was, as I say, it was much cheaper, and it was a huge piece. I can't actually remember how big it measured when it was whole, but I have made I've already made out of this board at least 3 covers, and it might even be 4. So it was really good value, and it's absolutely fine. I thought it might be too flimsy, but it's not at all. It's fine. Right, so that's all my board pieces cut out. I was chatting away to you through all that, and then I realised just how long that had taken me, so I've decided that bit will be fast forwarded. So I assume now, as long as I get that all done right, you're coming back to me. So I have 3 pieces of board that are, 2 are 9 by 6.5 and 1 is 9 by 2 inches. And in centimetres, for those of you who want to know, that is 16.5 centimetres by just under 23, a couple of millimetres under 23, and that one is 5 centimetres wide and the same height. So that's the actual board bits done. So that's how the book's going to work. So let's put these bits out of the way. Excuse my arm, keep flying in front of the camera. So now I'm going to use this bit of, this is one of those mailing bags to act as the hinge for the spine. So I need to cut this 9 inches by about 3.5. Max, quietly in your bed. So obviously that's more than 9. So if we do a 3.5 here, and 3.5 here, and that's the side that the dog's chewed. So let's flip that round. Right, this doesn't have to be perfectly accurate. Yeah, I usually use an old shopping bag, not the actually I've got one there I can show you, not the bag for life type, but you know the type that, I'll show you this, these ones that you can buy, you know, it's really sturdy material but it's still flexible. I have one of those that I have chopped up, and I usually use that for my spines, but again that's put away somewhere, and I was rummaging to find it, and then I found this envelope that had one of my husband's birthday presents in, and I save everything for my junk journals, everything that comes through the post. So I thought that would do. I have done, I've used one of these before, and it worked really well, so I thought I would do that. Now I want 9 inches of this, so that's about there. I'm going to do it slightly up because I can trim it afterwards. So that's going to be the way that's going to work. That will be stuck on there, and they will be stuck on there, and that will act as a hinge for the book. So we'll do that now. So I need some double-sided tape. I was trying to remember before I started everything I was going to need. I didn't do too badly. Right, so I need some tape on here. So I'm going to ask again because I think I don't know now what I've said that during the bit that I've fast forwarded and what I've said since. But how is everybody? Are you all well? Have you had a good Easter? What are you all working on at the moment? I'd love to know. So I'm just putting double-sided tape on these so that I can join everything together. Oh, I'm coming to the end of this. Oh dear, the last time I was videoing I was coming to the end of my glue. Oh, that's not even sticky. And now I'm coming to the end of my double-sided tape. Don't think I've got any more of that size. It's going to have to be thinner tape. So I might put a couple of strips on that one just to compensate for that. Put a couple of bits in the middle there. I like to make sure that this is really well adhered. So, you know, this is basically the whole construction of the book, so I want to make sure it's all going to hang together. It's the only trouble with this is it's sometimes you wrinkle it. You're just going to have to work with it wrinkled. I don't know why I stuck all that down, because I've got tape on there. See what I mean? Oh well, it'll give it a little bit of reinforcement, won't it? Oh, Karen, you are a silly Billy. So as soon as the camera turns on, the brain goes out the window. You don't know what you're doing. Now I'm going to burnish all of that tape. As I say, I want to make sure it's really well adhered. Obviously, some of these will not be adhering. Now, one thing I haven't found since we've moved, well, there's quite a few things actually I haven't found since we've moved, but one thing that I am really missing is my pokey tool. And I've got an awl, but it's really not the same. I use my pokey tool for everything, so I really do miss my pokey tool. And the reason I'm thinking of that now is because I usually use my pokey tool to remove my strips on the backing of these. So I realise this is not very neat at the top and bottom, but I will trim all these afterwards just to neaten everything up. So I'm just peeling off the backing now. And one thing I've learned, whatever you're using, you know, to join your pieces of board together, you know, like this piece of envelope, this plastic envelope, use the dark side to stick the board on, because this side is going to be covered by your fabric. So if you use the really dark side, if you know, if you have got a light and a dark side, that may well show through the fabric. So right, so stick that on there, try and keep this flat if I can. It's my head in the cam. Sorry if my head's sticking in frame again. I'm trying to make sure I've got this centered, so I'm sort of putting my head over it to see what I'm doing. So again, I'm going to burnish that. So that's all stuck down, and then I'm going to remove the tape on the edge, but I'm going to leave the one that's up against the spine section. And then I'm trying to get this, make sure I get this straight. So that I'm getting it as square as I can. And I'm making sure I'm doing my best to line these edges up so that the spine is in line with the cover. So I take a bit of time doing that, take a bit of care doing that, to try and make sure that the book is all lined up and square as far as possible. So turn it up that way again. I think I can see a bit better that way. Make sure that is completely straight, but we'll have to work with it now. I should do, oops, I usually do this. I'd forgotten to do it. It's amazing how quickly you forget all your little tricks and tips when you stop crafting for a couple of weeks. It's amazing how quickly your brain stops working. Right, that's just about right, I think. So, burnish all of that. Again, just make sure everything is really well stuck down. And there we have it. There's our book cover. So I'm just going to trim off all these extra bits, this overhang. And same here. I didn't get these completely lined up straight, but I think once they're covered with the fabric, it should be okay. So the next step is covering the cover with the fabric. So, and of course the fabric's fallen on the floor. So, I'm hoping I'll chop that bit off there. Or would it be better? Oh, hang on, let's have a look. I want my stripes going up and down. So it might be better. Yeah, it'd be better having it that way. So, fabric scissors. Just bear with me. Hello, I'm back again. I went to find some fabric scissors, and while I was doing that, I thought I'd give this a quick run over with the iron. So I've just done that. So I'm just going to cut this down slightly. I've left the cupboard door open where the iron and the ironing board live, and Max's food also lives in there. So he's now rummaging, trying to get into his bag of food. So if you can hear strange noises, that's what it is. And he's now having a drink. So he just likes to let you know that he's here. He's being very good at the moment and not barking too much. I've said before, Max is under a trainer for his anxiety, so we're trying to keep him calm and stop him reacting to all sorts of things. And one of the ways that she has suggested doing that is, you know, to try and prevent him barking and getting excited when people walk past, which is easier said than done, and to give him an alternative to running along the fence barking at the people. So we're trying to encourage him to take himself into his bed when he hears anything he doesn't like. I'm just trying to decide whether this fabric has a right way and a wrong way. Now, I'm not sure if you can see, it has faint lines in the background, and I want them to go like that because it sort of looks like tree bark to me. But I'm wondering if actually the fabric goes that way, because I don't know. I think I'm overthinking it. I don't think it matters. The fairies are going in all different directions, so we're just going to stick with this. So that is going to go on there. That is going to be my cover. So let's start getting this stuck down. Now normally I cut, you know, these corners here. Oh, I've gone out of frame. How have I done that? I've moved my board. I normally cut these here to mitre them, but I've seen some people just fold them over like this and then fold their fabric. And with most fabrics, I think that would be too bulky, but this fabric's really quite thin, so I'm wondering if I could get away with doing that. Because it's, you know, it's very tricky when you mitre. If you cut too far, you end up with the little bit of card here poking out. But I think that might work because it is quite thin, so I might give that a try for a change. You never know unless you try, do you? So I might have a bash at that, do something different. So first thing I'm going to do, and I do have some Fabri-Tac left. I thought that was all gone. Maybe we'll, this does say it's for fabric as well, the bookbinding glue, but I don't think I've used it for fabric. What does it say on there? Moisture proof, salt proof, so press them together. Cardboard, paper and textile. Right, that's this glue. It says it's for paper, fabric and textile, so might move on to that if the Fabri-Tac is not going to play. We'll see. So because I've not done anything for a couple of weeks, seems to be cooperating at the moment. Just spreading that out because I don't want big lumps of glue coming through my fabric. I've got to be mindful of this now because this fabric is quite thin. I do need to be careful with the glue because it will seep through. So I'm just giving myself a rough guide to get this centred. And I'm going to try not to stick my head in front of the camera. Oh, come on, Karen. I've got to put my head over the top of my phone and look down to see what I'm doing, which is rather tricky. Right. So about there should do it, I reckon. say, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's a junk journal, but I don't want the cover to be, you know, the fabric to be completely skew-iffy. Oh, now the Fabricat's decided it's going to stop playing, of course. Right, let's have a go with this one. See what happens. It's got a little spreader on it. Oh, it's not much cotton though. I feel like I'm going to need more than that. Excuse me. Obviously done too much talking this morning. My voice is protesting. Right. Looks okay. And the other side. Yeah, well, I was running out of glue last time I was filming, and I went to get some more, and I couldn't get the Fabri-Tac, so I got this Camellia bookbinding glue. I know the other Calau's, you know, the all-purpose one is great. Max, in your bed. In your bed. Maxie, come on, good boy, in your bed. Oh dear. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Normally I have the radio or something on in the background so you can't hear as well what's going on outside. You know, it's just a little bit of a distraction, but I can't really do that when I'm filming. So it's starting to get busy outside now. I started filming quite early, so there wasn't a lot of people wandering about outside, but now it's starting to get a bit busier. So, and obviously he would choose to bark when I'm in the middle of gluing, and the glue's going to dry before I can get anything adhered. Oh dear. Right, let's have a go with these corners and see what happens. I'm just wondering if maybe I should trim everything round a little bit if I'm going to fold the corners over so that there is slightly less fabric to work with. So let's cut about half of that off. Oh, come on, work properly. Should have done this first, really, shouldn't I? Oh, that's lovely and straight, Karen. Look at that. Ridiculous. Right. Just take that selvage off. Yeah, so I'm not sure if I was talking about this in the part that I'm going to fast forward so you won't hear. I was talking about some of the YouTube videos I've managed to watch over the last couple of weeks. I'm very behind, and I've seen that Yvonne Preston and Arty Maze have collaborated on a lovely new kit. I was thinking, oh yeah, I could use that in this book. It's called Something Blossom. Can't remember what it's called. It's beautiful. It's all pink roses. And I do love a digi-kit. I can't resist. So I'm toying with the idea of getting that. If you haven't seen it, head on over. They've sort of got half the kit each in their shops, and they both have a video on each of their channels launching the kit. It's beautiful. You know, I do, obviously, don't get me wrong, I love old ephemera. I love old books, you know, bits of paper. And that's what got me into junk journaling in the first place. But then I didn't know about DigiKits, never heard of them, didn't know what they were. Obviously found out, and oh, I just love DigiKits. I've got far too many. So I have promised myself I'm not going to buy any more, but then I keep seeing all these lovely things and I can't resist. Right, I'm going to do the corners first, I think. I hope this works. I'm standing up to do this because I want to see what I'm doing, so I hope I'm not getting in the way of the camera at all. I hope you can see what I'm doing all right. So let me know if you like DigiKits, or if you just prefer working with the, you know, the old ephemera. I like to combine things. You know, I love recycling, upcycling. As I say, I keep everything that comes through the post, even those really shiny, horrible leaflets that you get in junk mail. I use them as glue pages to protect my table when I'm gluing. So I do use everything that comes through the door in one way or another. But I do like to incorporate new things as well, which I think most of us do now. I know, you know, junk journaling traditionally was junk. But yeah, let me know what you do. And if you've got any really nice kits that I can have a look at. Barbara at 49 Dragonflies, I mentioned I've got quite a few of her videos to catch up on, but I did watch her planner video for May. Oh, and the kit that she's made for that is absolutely stunning. It's right up my street. It's I think it's called Parisian Tea Party, or it's something to do with France, and it's definitely tea. The reason I remember the tea bit is I'm a bit of a tea nut. I love my cups of tea, and it's proper tea. It's cake and pots of tea and all yumminess, but it's also in my favourite colour. It's all shades of like a turquoisey type blue, I think, and I love that colour. So that's another one that's definitely gonna have to go in my basket, as they say. It's stunning, but it's in 3 parts. So she's got like background pages, and then ephemera, and then like cut out bits, I think. Can't think of the right word. I know what I'm trying to say. I'm at that age now where I know what I want to say, but my brain won't cooperate with bringing the right word to mind. So yeah, it's in 3 parts. So I was umming and ahhing. Did I want all the 3? Well, no, I do want all the 3 parts. Do I need all the 3 parts? Which parts would be most useful? But I'm sure I'll end up buying them all. So yeah, that's another one to have a look at. Barbara's channel is always linked in my description box. The people that I watch most regularly are always in my at the end of my description. So head on over and have a look. Now these bits I need to be careful to try and get them nice and square. So I go quiet when I'm concentrating, don't I? Right, I don't know if these corners are as square as I usually manage, but I do quite like this method for this thinner fabric. Obviously I won't know for certain until everything's dry, but at the moment it looks all right, and it feels like it's been a bit easier than trying to mitre the corners. So, and I don't need to worry about the glue going into the middle of the cover here, because obviously eventually that's all going to be covered with whichever paper I decide to use, which I haven't decided on yet. I'm still umming and ahhing whether to use tea dyed paper for the pages of this book or avocado dyed paper. I'm thinking avocado dyed paper because I'd quite like to pick out the pink in this fabric, and I have a nice big roll of pink sari silk I could use as closure then. Yeah, I think that looks okay. But I haven't actually decided. I've got a couple of, talking of DigiKits, a couple of different kits in mind. One from the Digital Collage Club, and actually I think I've got two from the Graphics Fairy, the membership site. They're both membership sites. So I'm going to print them out and have a look at them, I think, and decide what I think is going to work best. But that's our cover done for now. So I hope that you found that interesting and useful. I quite like the way these corners are looking at the moment. It's not all 100% straight along the edges, but I think it's good enough. As I say, it is a junk journal. So I'm going to leave that to dry now, and then I will be back next time with something else. I'll either come back with some, carrying on making this, or I'll come back with one of the ideas that I've seen that I want to try for my ideas book. But I'm going to go away now and print out those kits, have a look at them, and then dye some papers so that I can carry on with this. This has got to be done by I think the 12th of May, so that it can get to my cousin in time for her birthday. So I do need to get cracking with this. So thank you very much for joining me today. Again, thank you to my new subscribers. I really do appreciate the support. Oh, that was one other thing I was going to mention. I have scanned some tea-dyed papers that I will be popping up somewhere as a freebie, just to say thank you for supporting this new channel. I know there's so many really talented people out there that you could be watching, so I'm really touched that you've chosen to follow my channel and my journey with junk journaling. So as a little thank you, I thought I'd put up a freebie of some tea-dyed pages. I would love to make a digi kit for you all and share it with you, but I really am not that talented in that area. It's something that I am working on, I'm trying to learn, but it's really hard to fit in with everything else. And as I say, there's so many other people out there doing such beautiful work. You don't need me chiming in as well. So, but I do know that there's a lot of people that can't be, you know, bothered with the faff of dyeing papers themselves. So I thought I'd put some up for you at some point to be able to print out and use, so you can get the look, if not the actual feel, of tea dyed paper. So please keep watching, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and then you'll get to know exactly when they're available. But in the meantime, thank you again for joining me today. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.